of alchemy. The powers of alchemy.
All right, y'all, what's going on? What's popping? It's your man Frank. coming to y'all live and direct with another edition of View from the Man Cave. So welcome to View from the Man Cave, a place for honest, intellectual, and informative dialogue and discourse about all things related to masculinity and manhood, responsibility and respect, provision and protection. So let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, y'all, it's another Tuesday. You know what that means, man. It's man cave time. We're in a man cave mood. So I want to thank y'all for coming in, pulling up on me. We're gonna have a nice little conversation tonight, and we're gonna get it popping. So let's get right into it. Um, I want to start off talking about a couple of current events that I saw today in the media. So I want to talk about those, and then we're gonna get right into our topic. So I saw today that our brother Tiger Woods, one of the greatest athletes to ever live, one of the greatest golfers to ever live, who has more major wins than anybody except Jack Nicklaus. He was in a really serious car accident today, where he had to be, where the folks had to come in and literally pry him out of the car. You know what I mean? Like sardines out of a can. So I've been kind of following that very closely. And he went to the hospital. He was in surgery, and it looks like our brother, is going to pull through. So I just want to say, much love to Tiger Woods. Praying for the brother. I hope he pulls through. They said he broke both of his legs, so it's not really looking good, on that side of the game. But but they were saying that it wasn't anything fatal. He will live. He's just gonna have to go through some surgery, some grueling rehab and things like that. But the brother's gonna be all right. So I just want to say peace and love and prayers out to the brother, Tiger Woods. And also I want to talk about something that I saw, in the media today, and a very popular YouTuber was recently outed, as a fraud. And so I'm not going to say her name, you know what I mean? I did post about it on my Facebook page. So, if you have no idea what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about, you can go on my Facebook page and find out who I'm talking about. But so I'm not going to say her name. But at the same time, excuse me, do this real quick. Yeah, but at the same time, this very popular YouTuber was outed. You know what I mean? She was charged with, fraud and money laundering and a lot of that. You know what I mean? And she was a big time YouTuber, tens of thousands, of subscribers, a lot of people, following her, supporting her, super chatting, buying her courses or whatever she had going on. I'm not really sure. I don't really follow her like that. You know what I mean? But, but she was outed today. And so, according to the reports, a lot of her content was really based on fraud. It was based on deceit. She wasn't living the life that she was telling everybody on social media that she was living. And I've done content about that before. I did a whole live, talking about catchphrase chameleons and talking about how, there are a lot of YouTubers, unfortunately, a lot of content creators, a lot of people that you see on social media that really don't live the life that they portray. You know what I mean? And so, just let this be a warning, man. Like I'm telling you, listen, as human beings, it's our nature to withhold certain things, and none of us are perfect. You know what I mean? We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have a past. We all have done things that we're not proud of, that, some of it, we may even be ashamed of looking back on it. But to just knowingly defraud people, you know what I mean? To just purposely, launder money and create a whole page, to create a whole persona based on something that doesn't exist, based on somebody that doesn't exist. That's a negative, man. That's a no-go. And I keep telling people, it's only a matter of time before you get outed. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to out you. You know, somebody's going to, you know, if you defrauded people, somebody's going to turn you over to the authorities. Somebody's going to get tired of it. You know, people will dig in your background. People will pull up your police report. They'll pull up, you know, whatever information they can get. You know, there's really nothing out here that you can hide in this world. If you've done it, somebody can find it. You know what I mean? You know, they're willing to pay for it. They'll pay somebody, you know what I mean, to investigate you if they don't have access to certain, you know, databases and things like that. They'll pay somebody to go get it, you know what I mean, in order to find out the information that they want to find out. So I'm telling you, you know, with all due respect to that sister, like I said, I'm not going to say her name. I'm not doing this, you know, to disrespect her or to poke fun at her. There are a lot of people out here, I'm telling you, who are going to do it. I slid into a video earlier today where somebody was talking about it, was doing a whole live on it. So you're going to see that she's that big. She's that popular, where a lot of content creators are going to do, you know, shows about her. But at the end of the day, man, be genuine, be true to yourself. You know, it's okay. I've seen people in these social media streets who have 4, 5, 600,000 subscribers. And like, I follow this one brother. His name is EDP. I can't even really say, you know, what EDP stands for. On, you know, not on my platform. I won't do that. But the brother, you know, he's a very funny brother. I think he's from Philly. He's like a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. And all of his content is just him trashing his team, talking about how horrible they are. He's a real big brother. So he'll, you know, take off his shirt and, you know, just act crazy. But it's true to him. And this brother has 500, like hundreds of thousands of followers. And he's not being somebody that he's not. He's not trying to put on a suit. He's not trying to, you know, act like he's tough, like he's from the street. He's just a regular guy talking about things that he's passionate about based on his experiences. And the brother has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, followers and subscribers on YouTube who contribute to his platform and stuff like that. So you don't have to lie, man. You don't have to be anybody outside of yourself. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? If you made some mistakes, fine. If you've been divorced, fine. You know what I mean? If you've been locked up, fine. That's okay. You know what I mean? If you got something, you know, being your true self, you can still add on. You can still, you know, contribute, you know, to the culture and by being your authentic self, man. So I just want to say that. So I hope it works out, you know, for Tiger. Obviously, I'm praying for that brother. You know what I mean? You know, hopefully justice is going to be served one way or the other. In this other situation with this content creator. But I'm telling you, man, just just be yourself. I mean, I don't know how many ways to say it. You know what I mean? I know it sounds cliche, but be true to yourself. It's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? I don't get up here and be somebody that I'm not. I'm married. You know what I mean? I've lived certain things. I've traveled to a lot of places. That's what I talk about. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be, you know, somebody that I'm not. And I know that, you know, a lot of people look at it and say, well, hey, here's the sad thing. Let me be honest. Here's the sad thing. There are people, you know, a lot of Black folks have a lot of pain, especially as it relates to relationships. A lot of us are hurt. And so there are a lot of content creators out here who will speak to your hurt, you know what I mean, on both sides. But they won't necessarily speak to your hurt in order to help you to heal and to grow and to evolve. But they'll speak to your hurt in order to just, you know, make you act out of your character. You know what I mean? Because you made a mistake, you've been hurt, and you don't really know how to move. So you got somebody who will come to you and say, hey, I'm going to tell you how you move. Just give up on Black women, period. That's how you move. Just give up on all of them. All of them are trash. You ain't going to find one that's good. You know what I mean? And then you'll have some sisters on the other side, who will say the same thing. You know, a lot of women out here are hurt. They've been in relationships where, you know, they got the short end of the stick. And then they'll say, well, okay, instead of giving them some real game, like I'm going to do tonight, they'll say, well, just give up on brothers, man. There's no Black man out here that, you know, is worth being in a relationship with. There's no Black man on this planet, you know, anywhere around you, anywhere that, you know, you can line up with, that's trying to do the right thing, that, you know, that wants to be in a relationship, that wants to have something serious going on, you know. So just go on the other side. And, you know, and while you go on the other side, just bash brothers all day. They'll tell you stuff like that. You know what I mean? So they they're speaking to people's traumas and they're speaking to people's pains, but they're doing it in order to just kind of rile them up and just to get stuff up out of them, whether it's buying their courses or commenting, super chatting them or cash apping them and stuff like that. Man, it ain't worth it, man. Let me tell y'all something. I'm no different from other people. You know what I mean? I like money. I make money. I make a lot of it. I like money. I like what it does. I like the opportunities that it affords to me and my family. But I'm not going to lie to get it. I'm not going to cap to get it. I'm not going to fake and front and be a fraud to get it. It's not, if I can't be myself getting it, then I can't, it's not for me to have. You know what I mean? It's not for me to have. So I'm just going to end it on that note, man. We'll see what happens with that, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So tonight, we're going to talk about expectations and requirements. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about if you deserve what you expect and what you require out of the opposite sex in a relationship. We're going to talk about that. I think that's very important. When I got to a point in my life where I knew I wanted to be in a serious relationship, where I knew I wanted to stop playing the field and I wanted to stop, having my little stables and all that and settle down and build with one woman, I had to ask myself some serious questions as a man. And one of those questions that I had to ask myself, that I did ask myself, was, do you deserve what you're trying to get? I had to figure out, literally, I had to sit down and I thought about it, over a period of time. What exactly did I want out of a relationship? What did I want out of a woman? What type of woman did I want? What quality of woman did I want? And then and once I figured that out, I had to ask myself, literally, do I deserve that? You know what I mean? I had to ask myself, what is it about me that would make that type of woman want to line up with me? You know what I mean? And that's a question that a lot of brothers really don't ask themselves. I frequent, these YouTube streets. I listen to a lot of brothers. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I think it's only right because, I just like listening to different perspectives, whether I agree with them or not. And so a lot of times on social media, you'll see it on both sides of the fence, but you'll see brothers, and they'll kind of rate women and they'll talk about women and they'll say, well, she's this or she's that, or she looks like this or she looks like that. You know what I mean? And, she don't look good enough or whatever, or even the ones that they really like, the ones that they're really into, they'll rate them and they'll talk about them and what they'll do with them and all this kind of stuff. But, I always think about, if you actually could pull a woman like that, like if you were in a space with a woman like that, why would she choose you? You know what I mean? What is it about you that would make that type of woman choose you? And the same thing goes for the ladies too. You know what I mean? A lot of times, I've seen a lot of content creators as well, talk about women and say, black women aren't realistic. All these black women who have all these issues are talking about the type of guy that they want. He has to look like this. He has to make this kind of money. You know what I mean? He has to have this level of education. But, they never really talk about why that man would want them or what it is about them that would make a man like that want to choose them. These are the type of questions that you have to ask yourself. If you really being honest, if you're just not out here pipe dreaming and chasing hopes, you have to ask yourself these real questions. Once you figure out the type of person that you want, you have to literally ask yourself, okay, why would this person want me? I don't care if you a man or a woman. It doesn't really matter what side of the fence you on. You have to ask yourself the same question. If you like this, if you want a guy that looks like Idris Elba, that is a high earner, that's he's super athletic, he's attractive, he's very successful. You have to ask yourself, what can I offer a man like that? What can I bring to the table? With and for a man like that. And if you're out here looking at women and you say, man, I want this woman, I want her to look like, whatever supermodel, whatever type of woman you into, and I want her to be feminine and I wanted to have, to be, I want her to be smart, and I want her to be soft, and all these things that we want women to be. You have to ask yourself, if you're really being honest with yourself, you know, why would a woman like that choose me? And not only that, you know, even if you put yourself in a position to get someone like that, man or woman, how do you maintain it? What can you do within your capacity, within your scope, to not only choose or be chosen by somebody like that, but to maintain a relationship like that from your side of the fence? You know, we got to be serious, man. A lot of us are just out here, we hoop dreaming, like we're pipe dreaming. We've seen all these movies. We've seen all these Tyler Perry movies where, regardless of how, you know, dysfunctional I am, I still get the light skinned dude with wavy hair at the end of the movie. Or I still get the dime with the hair down her back, you know, with the Coke bottle shape. I still get her at the end of the movie. And that's a movie. I mean, a lot of us are really low key trying to live out movies in real life, and it's not going to work. I remember one time, my wife and I, we were having a little get together at the house, you know, not this house, but our first house before we moved here. We had a little get together. We had a little get together, at the house, and we had some family and friends over. And I remember hearing someone at the house, one of my family members, say, you know, I wish I had a woman like Rasha. You know what I mean? I wish I had a woman that was like Rasha, that, you know, she loves Frank and she submits to Frank, and, you know, she treats Frank like he's the head of the household, and, you know, she's very cooperative with him and she compliments him well. I want a woman like that. And he was talking to another one of my family members. I think it was my aunt. And my aunt looked at him, you know, no pause, no hesitation, no nothing. She looked at him and she said, "You want a woman like Rasha with the same, you know, attributes as Rasha? Do you have the same attributes as Frank?" You know what I mean? And when he heard that, he kind of, you know, paused for a little bit. He didn't really say too much after that. But I remember that conversation. And that conversation happened probably well over 10 years ago. And I remember it like it just happened yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, if you want a certain type of person, you have to be a certain type of person. And that's on both sides of the fence. So I'm not somebody that's going to ride on ladies all day. I'm not somebody that's going to ride on fellas all day and cape for women. I'm not going to do that either. I'm somebody that's going to stay in the middle. And what the middle says and suggests is that we both have to put in work. Relationships are about, at the end of the day, it's about work. It's about sacrifice. You know what I mean? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to work on to get the type of person that you want to get, and then be able to maintain and cultivate that relationship long term? Because we can't just think about getting it. Getting somebody is not enough. Anybody can get somebody. Whoever you think is the most ugliest, unattractive person on the planet could get somebody. But we're talking about, you know, cultivating something real and maintaining it and building on it and adding on to it. So what does that look like? It doesn't matter. Listen, there are certain things that you have to understand about your partner, and that you have to understand about yourself if you want to get into, you know, a healthy, vibrant relationship with the type of person that you want. Look at it like this. Let me break it down like this. You know, my sister, Nicole Michelle, who's the founder of the Inner Beauty movement, she coined these phrases about, you know, traditional women and modern women. And so a lot of people are running with that, but it is what it is. But she was the first one to really coin that and kind of break that down on both sides. So, fellas, if you want, whether you want a traditional woman or a modern woman, there's still certain things about yourself that you have to ask yourself if you're being honest. And you have to find answers to, you know, if you're capable and willing to do the things that are necessary to build a relationship with somebody like that on either side. So let's say you want a traditional woman, right? My sister talks about that, traditional women. So let's say you want a traditional woman, right? There's certain things that you have to be capable of doing in order to be with a traditional type woman. A traditional woman is a woman who basically who realizes and understands that her primary function is in the home. She's a housewife for the most part. Like, does she work? Does she have a business here and there? Of course, but her primary operation is in the house. She primarily functions and runs things, her whatever she has going on, from the house, because that's what brings her the most joy, the most peace, the most value is her home. And so if you want a woman like that, there's certain things that you have to be able to do. First of all, you have to be able to provide and protect for a home. You know what I mean? If that's the type of woman you want, then you have to be able to provide and protect for a household like that. And I'm not talking about, females that are undesirable. So I know brothers will say, well, nah, Frank, I can't do that because, these chicks is out here, other dudes ain't got to do all. I'm not talking about, lower level females. I'm talking about the quality, upper echelon women that we all say we want out here. If you want a woman like that, there's certain requirements that you have to have. You know what I mean? For a more traditional woman, you have to be a solid leader, because she's looking to you for leadership. She's looking to you for headship if she's on the traditional side. So you have to be willing to do that. And when I talk about requirements and expectations and things like that, I'm not just talking about resources for a guy. I'm not talking about just money. Even though money is important, you have to have your paper up. You have to have a willingness and a desire to go out here and get bags. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not just money. It's your temperament too. Do you have the right temperament for the type of woman that you want? Ladies, do you have the right temperament for the type of man that you want? If you want a masculine man, if you want a man who's going to lead and move in that fashion, you have to have the right temperament for that. If you want a man who's successful, who's out here getting bags and getting money and bringing it home and taking care of the household, there's a certain temperament that you have to have in order to complement that. Do you have that temperament? Are you willing to learn that temperament and to create that temperament within yourself if it's not natural to you? Prime example, like brothers who have it going on, who have their paper up, they're busy. They're busy. They're out. They're in meetings. They're on planes. They're flying around. They're getting badged. They're in the office. If they're at home, they have meetings that they have Zoom meetings and they have conferences and they constantly on the phone handling things. Do you have the temperament to be like, okay, he's doing that and I'm okay with it? Do you have that temperament? Or are you gonna nag him all the time? Why you ain't home? How come you don't never do this? How come we don't never do that? Like, why you always got to be gone? That's not a good temperament for somebody who's out here getting bread. You know what I mean? That's not a good temperament. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, look, man, let me run down. I see y'all later. I see the money woman in here. My wife, of course, Tony's in here. I see y'all. MB, Tommy's in here. D's in here. Sasha's in here. A few others. Thank y'all for pulling up. My man Boog is here. I'm gonna see my man Boog. Let me see my man Boog. Let me do this. See my man Boog is in here. Thank you for that contribution, for that super chat. I'm gonna see my brother next month. About 2 weeks or so at the self-improvement summit. We're gonna get busy. But if you out here, if you looking for a brother like my man Boog busy. You know what I mean? He doing conferences, man. He's flying all over the place, man. He's mentoring brothers, man. He got brothers, messaging him, emailing him, that are appreciative of his mentorship. This brother's flying all over the place, man, putting in work. If this the type of brother you want, you have to be willing to accept that. You have to be willing to be able to compliment that. Can't nag that man all the time. Boogie, how come you not home? Like, when you gonna come home? I'm tired of this. You ain't say it was gonna be like this. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Because I let you know from the beginning what my vision was, what my goals were in life, and what I was trying to do. So you have a choice. You could either line up with that or not. And even if you don't line up with me or with my brother, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever type of dude you're trying to get with is you're gonna run into the same problems. You know what I mean? Like I look at athletes, man, and like brothers like Kobe, brothers like brothers like Kobe, MJ, you know what I mean? Peyton Manning, guys like that, real cerebral. They work on their craft. So Kobe, before he passed away, when he was in the league, he would get up every morning like 4 or 5 a.m. and go to the Staples Center and work out. Get 500 shots up, get 1,000 shots up. Hit the weights, watch film. You know what I mean? His wife had to be able to say, you know what? I'm cool with that. That's who he is. That's his vision. You know what I mean? That's the leadership that I came up under. So I'm going to compliment it because I love him, and she had the right temperament for it. You know what I mean? So listen, you have to make sure that you have the right temperament, and you have to make sure that you have the right qualities to match the person that you're trying to get. And we got to stop dreaming out here. A lot of us are just, I'm telling you, we just dreaming. You know what I mean? All these brothers out here, like, matter of fact, like I work in for the federal government. I work in Washington, D.C., right? So when I go into the office, especially before COVID hit, I will go in the office and, I worked in the court building in DC Superior Court and in U.S. District Court, federal court. And so it'll always be these people outside. It'd be defendants running around outside. It'd be people, who work for the court outside all the time. And so everybody would be moving and shaking, walking around, getting their coffee, getting lunch, talking, lawyers talking to clients, all kind of stuff. Probation officers, all that. So everybody would kind of be outside, during lunch hours, moving around. And it'd be all, and these guys will always, hawk at these females. Always be chirping at them. Yo, what's up? Let me holler at you. You look good, whatever, all this kind of stuff. All right. All this kind of stuff. And so every once in a while, a female would be like, she really didn't want the guys anyway. But every once in a while, a few females would say, you know what, like, let me just go over there and see what they're talking about. Like, I mean, let me just give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? So they go over there and the brothers would be dumbfounded. They wouldn't know what to say. They'd be so shocked. They were so shocked that she came over, that their game was only to get her to come over. But they had no follow-up game. They had no second move, no go-to, no nothing. Once she came, they had nothing in pocket to keep her, to bag her. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers move like that. Like, you don't have to hawk at a female on a corner. A lot of brothers do the same thing, like in other avenues, other places in their life, on social media. I can't expect anything from somebody if I don't have the temperament and the qualities to match and to complement somebody, I can't have no serious dealings with them. And that's not even based on like a sexual relationship. I have homies. Like, if I don't have the temperament to complement them, like based off of who they are and how they move, if my temperament and my skill set doesn't complement what they do, then we can't really build like that. We can't do it. And it's no disrespect to them, but I just can't move like that. A lot of people they say they want serious relationships. They want a serious relationship. I want to get married, Frank. We'll be in ClubHouse, me, Nicole, Gabe, we'll be in ClubHouse, Sasha, all us be in ClubHouse. Every room we in, I want to get married. Like, I want a husband. Like, I want a wife. I want a serious relationship. And I'm like, what are you willing to work on and sacrifice to get that and maintain it? That's the serious question you got to ask yourself. A lot of times in your relationships, It's not even about your partner. It's about you. Your temperament don't match. You know what I mean? Like, facts. A lot of us are in love with the thought of marriage. We're in love with the thought of being in a relationship. Men are in love with the thought of having a woman submit to him, but he don't really know what that means. And every woman is in love with the idea of a masculine man providing and protecting for her, but she don't know what that means. What that means is that, especially in a marriage, what that means is in a marriage, you don't live for yourself no more. Every decision I make in my life, I make it with my wife and my children at the forefront. Every move I make is strategic based off of them, not not whatever I'm trying to do or whatever I tried to do personally, before I met my wife and settled down. Everything is about my family. That's the goal. That's where my, the value is. That's where my decisions come from. That's where the thought process starts. Them. How is it going to affect them? You don't have the right temperament for it. We do these audits. Sasha know what I'm talking about. We go over there with Gabe and them. We do these audits on Instagram because people, my man Gabe started that. And we do these Instagram audits over there. And these people are like, yo, like, I want a guy. I want a husband. I'm a Christian. I read the Bible every night. You know what I mean? I just got baptized. I've been washed in the blood. Look at my Instagram and tell me, what can I do to improve and make my Instagram more, more appealing to men? And we go over there and it's like, it's like that joint looked like, you know what I'm saying? Every picture, it looked like she was an extra in a WAP video. Like she was an extra in a Megan or Cardi video or something, or a Nicki video. All the pictures, I'm like, who you think you're going to track with that? Who you think you're going to track? Now, I'm not going to lie. Some of these women look great and they have, nice shapes and all of that. But who do you think what type of dude do you think you're going to track if all your pictures is like everything is hanging out? Everything's short, everything tight, everything hanging out. What type of man do you think you're going to track? What type of energy are you speaking to when you move like that? You attracting a guy that want to smash. That's it. He want a pipe. You giving him pipe energy, he's going to respond with masculine pipe energy. He's just going to want a pipe, period. You know what I mean? You got to, like, what type of energy are you feeding off? Guys too. Like, you want a certain type of woman, but at the end of the day, if you've been honest, you're not really built for a woman like that. You got to be honest, man. You're not really built like you. It's sad. It's not even really sad because we have to understand our lane, man. You got to understand your lane. And when you don't, you make mistakes. That's why a lot of our relationships fail, because we don't stay in our lane and we make mistakes. And we don't understand the difference between, suitability and compatibility. We like what we like, even if they don't like us back. We want what we want and who we want, even if they don't want us back. And we'll do anything just about to try to get them to win them over, to try to show them that, we're the one and that, we're the one that they're supposed to be with. And, we jump through hoops and do things, lose ourselves along the way to try to convince somebody who don't want us that they should want us. But if you're looking for something, you got to ask yourself, do you deserve what you expect? Do you deserve what you require? And it all goes back to you. You know the quality of person that you need to be with based off of the quality of person that you are. And so we can't make a fair assessment with the opposite sex because we don't make fair assessments with ourselves. Like my man Book talk about, we don't do fair assessments, self-assessments. We don't look in the mirror and see what's really in that mirror. You know what I mean? We live in an era of Photoshop. We live in an era of filters. That's how we live our life. We filter who we are as it relates to, to going out here and trying to find a relationship. We Photoshop who we are and present ourselves to be something that we're not. And then when it doesn't work, then we want to complain about it and say it's and blame the opposite sex for it. Because I did it out of my league, because I didn't do a fair assessment of myself, and I went out here and overextended myself for someone that wasn't in my lane. Now I'm mad because she hurt me, because she cheated on me, because she left me. You know what I mean? And so now, instead of me looking at myself and saying, you know what, I didn't really do a fair assessment of myself. I didn't really look within myself honestly and figure out exactly who I was and what I wanted. Instead of doing that, it's these women's fault. It's her fault. And women do the same thing. Like, I want women to tell the truth. Some of y'all really don't want no relationship. Some of y'all don't really want marriage. Y'all want to smash and not feel the shame of smashing around. A lot of it is like, y'all like what y'all do. You know what I mean? You just don't, you personally like what you do. But you can't handle the, it's still in your mind somewhere, it's still shameful. You know what I mean? Your mother or your grandmother or people would be ashamed of you if you put it out, or that's how you feel. So you come up on here in these streets and you talk about, well, I want love, I want a serious relationship. Some of y'all don't. Some of these men don't either. They don't want that. A lot of these men feel like that's what y'all want to hear. You know what I mean? A lot of them feel like that's what y'all want to hear. So they tell you that. Every man that y'all talk to that say they want a real relationship, they want something, a lot of them is lying. They don't have the heart to tell you they just want to smash. Because they feel like if they tell you that, then, they have no choice. They have no, there's no hope. You know what I'm saying? There's no hope for them to cut if he tell you the truth. So he lie. Yeah, he take you out on these dates or whatever, and he talk to you, and he tell you, how you feel and all that, but he's lying. Most of these cats, they just want to smash. They don't have the heart to say that. They don't feel like their game or their package is good enough for you to look at them and say, okay, I just let them hit, or I just want to hit too. But I tell you what, fellas, you'll be amazed at what some of these women will line up with if you're honest with them. Some of these women, if you tell them like, hey, I just want to, I ain't really trying to have nothing serious, I just want to smash. Some of these women will look you right in the face and say, you know what, that's what I want too. Let's just stop playing. Let's just stop playing. Expect expectations and requirements. If you want whatever you want in somebody else, you got to make sure you're on point too. Period. Got to make sure you're on point too. Fellas, it's not about her, man. If you want certain treatment from her, you got to make sure that whatever it is you want out of her, that you give her something to compliment. Period. If you like modern women, like my sister Nicole talks about modern and traditional women, if you want a modern woman, that's a woman that's like, focused on her career and she's doing her thing and she's comfortable with splitting things 50-50 and all that kind of stuff and going half on dates and stuff like that. That's what you would call, that's what my sister Nicole Michelle coined and calls a modern woman. If you want a modern woman, there's some perks and there's perks and cons to everything. You know what I mean? If a perk to that, to having a modern woman, is you only got to do half of the work. I guess. I mean, depending on the type of man you are, that could be either a perk or a con. It could be a good or a bad thing. But for those who like modern women, it's a good thing because you only got to do half. You know what I mean? You don't gotta go as hard because y'all splitting everything. The con to that is the majority of the time, women who do that, they're not gonna respect you. They ain't gonna line up with you or kind of follow your lead because you're not really leading in anything. Y'all doing everything down the middle. So y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all co-heads or whatever you don't even know, y'all co-captains, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying modern or traditional is wrong. I'm not. That what I am saying is that you have to make sure that you know exactly what you want. And once you figure out what you want, you have to figure out and understand, okay, do I have the temperament, the resources, and the mindset to complement whatever it is that I want? If I want a 50, you can't want 50-50 and then want to lead all the time. That really don't match because the majority of women are going to say, look, if I'm doing half of everything, if you're not really leading in any area, then you're not really you're not a leader. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay because some brothers don't necessarily want to be a leader. They're not traditional, so they don't mind splitting everything. They don't mind that. I see my cousin Kim, and shout out to my cousin Kim from Baltimore. I gotta get up there and see you. I miss you. I love you. It's been too long. Shout out to my cousin Kim in Baltimore, Maryland. But yeah, man, you got to figure out what you want. And when you figure out what you want, then you got to figure out if you have the right temperament for that. So if you want a situation where it's like 50-50, that's cool. But make sure you have a 50-50 temperament. You can't be paying half or have some kind of split up like that. And then matter of fact, Kim, I might come up and see you this Saturday in Baltimore. I'm gonna be in Baltimore anyway doing something. So I'm gonna call you. And even if I just stop through, give you a hug or something, I'm gonna see you. But yeah, so like I was saying, neither one is wrong. Just know what you want. And when you figure out what you want, make sure you have the right skill set and temperament for that. Like I said, 50-50 cats can't really walk around the crib with their chest puffed out. You know what I mean? Because you doing half. You know what I'm saying? And most women that I've come into contact with, they're not going to look at a man as a leader or somebody to acquiesce to if she's doing the same things that he's doing. Miss V, I see you. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. If you're on the more traditional side, right? If you're on the more traditional side, that's fine too. There's perks and there's cons to that. You got to make sure that you have the right temperament for that. A lot of y'all cats is really modern, but y'all want a traditional partner. You know what I mean? Or a lot of y'all are traditional, but y'all out here willing to accept a modern partner. And that's where y'all get in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it like this. A woman could be, regardless of where she's at, she can be primarily in the house and still work and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like this. A traditional woman, a woman who's more of a homemaker, she finds more joy and more value out of the home, out of being a wife, out of being a mother. On the other side, it's about she finds a lot of pleasure and joy in her job. Like her job kind of, is above that or on the same level as that. That's really the difference. But like I said, knowing who you are is going to solve a lot of your problems. Because when you know who you are for real, you're going to know exactly what you want. You're going to know exactly what you need to complement who you are. And a lot of us don't really know who we are. And we're expecting things from people that we don't, that we shouldn't. Prime example, like I see, I was listening to this content creator, big time content creator, a lot of subs, huge platform. And he was kind of going on females, black women, about some of y'all preferences, basically. He was saying how, you know, you find a lot of plus size women that don't necessarily like plus size black men. Like they don't date plus size black men. They want the same men. Like the woman who's a size 28 is, you know, wants the same guy that the girl who's a size 8 wants. And why? And basically, he was asking, why does she think she deserves that? Why does she think that, you know, being a size 28 with, you know, 5 kids, why does she think she deserves the same type of guy that a woman who's a size 2 would get with no kids, everything is tight and right? And so what I would say is this: everybody has preferences, and that plus size 28 woman is it's okay for her to have her preferences too. She can prefer what she like. At the end of the day, the market is going to decide for her what she should have. And that's for guys too. There are a lot of guys who out here looking horrible, sloppy, you know what I mean? Teeth yellow, you know what I mean? Horrible looking, sloppy looking brothers out here. And they want the same type of women that, you know, my man Boog would go bag, or my bro Chris would go bag. They want the same type of women that every other man want. And I would say to that brother too, like, you can have whatever preference, you know what I mean, you like. You can have whatever preference you like. I see you, Red Sings the Blues. Yeah, man, I had to come through, show you some love, man. Shout out to this young brother right here. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Y'all check him out, man. Good brother, man. Good young brother, dropping dope content on his channel. So you can have whatever preference you want, man, in your life. You know what I mean? If you're 500 pounds and you want Megan Good, you know, have at it, man. But the market is going to determine, you know, what you can and can't have. And at the end of the day, like, prime example, I won't even go hard on a woman like that, because like I said, the market is going to dictate to her. It's going to dictate to her. If she wants, if that woman wants Idris Elba, right? Or Idris Elba lookalike, and she's, you know, she was on My 600-Pound Life, but she wants an Idris Elba type brother, okay? She has to do an honest assessment of herself too. She has to look around and she has to say, look, okay, I see Idris Elba. What type of woman does he like? What type of women has he gone for in his life? You know what I mean? Since he's been in the public eye. Do they look like me? Do they act like me? Do they dress like me? If the answer is no, then, you know, I give my game off of a risk assessment. So if the answer is no, what I'm telling you is the risk of you not getting what you want is very high. You know what I mean? It's very high. And if you a dude out here and you look like, you know, Warren Sapp, but you don't have Warren Sapp money, and you talking about you want, you know, an Instagram model or whatever, you got to ask yourself, man, based on the type of guy that I am, how I look, the money I make, you know, the type of personality that I have, how many women are with a dude like me that's in my tax bracket, that has my personality, that has my looks? If you can't find any, then the risk of you not finding what you want out here is very high. Period. So you let the market dictate. And you might luck up, you might get you one. Because at the end of the day, like I tell people all the time, man, like, I don't really go hard on the looks department. You know what I mean? I really don't, because people like what they like. And people will lie to y'all all the time. I swear. They'll tell y'all that they can't stand, you know, black women, or they can't stand plus size women or BBWs, whatever. And then you find out their baby mom or BBW. They last 2 girlfriends are BBWs. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. So I don't really go off looks, man. I don't really control. I don't really care about what makes your meat swell up. The only thing I care about is how that woman treats you. The only thing I care about is if that woman respects you or not. I don't care how she look. The only one who has to be attracted to her is you. If she make you swell up at night, When y'all in the bed and she toot that thing up, if you swell up or you ready to throw it up in there, then that's you. You're the only one who has to be willing to do that. We doing the book soon. We're gonna do the book soon. I've been thinking about it, and I was going to actually I was going to email you or hit you on Twitter this week because I'm ready. It's book time. I'm ready to be published. I'm around too many authors. Man. I'm around my sister. You know what I mean? I'm around my sister. I'm around Boog. These cats, these some of my favorite people, man. They're published. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna follow suit, man. I got some ideas. So I'm gonna get at you though. I'm gonna message you this week, and then we'll get the ball rolling on that book. So it's gonna come. I gotta do it. It's only right. But yeah, man, only one who need to care about how they look is you. I just want you to make sure, fellas, that whatever that woman look like, if she look like, you know, if she look like Sanaa Lathan, or she look like Gabby Sidibe, I don't care. If that's what you like, if that's what swell you up at night, then you go for that. I just want to make sure that you make sure that that woman respects you and that she compliments you and that she cooperates with you and that you make sure that you lead in the right way and that you move in the right way so that you could be somebody that's worthy of respect, so that you could be somebody that's worthy of being complimented and being cooperated with. That's all I care about. All that other stuff, that's for the cats who hoop dreaming. That's for the cats who be on social media all day rating women that they ain't never had in their life. That's for the dudes that'll see a picture of Nia Long and say I wouldn't hit. When if we pulled up a picture, all your exes is hit, all your exes is beat down compared to Nia Long. But hey, it is what it is. You do you. Good luck with that. I'm happy for you. But yeah, man, like, listen, I can't, like, I'm gonna just, okay, I'm gonna just wrap it up on a personal note. I can't expect or require anything of my wife that I'm not willing to give. If I'm not willing to move a certain way to get her to understand that this is what I need and to put her in a position to give it to me, then I don't really need to have it. Not with her. I don't. It starts with you, man. It starts with you. Do you deserve what you expect? Do you deserve what you require? If you somebody out here, your money not right, you not stand up. You know what I mean? You don't mean what you say, fellas. You don't mean what you say. You don't say what you mean. You don't keep your word. Do you deserve what you expect? If you're not willing to go out here and make it happen so that you could bring a bag home, if you're not bettering yourself, if you're not working on yourself and making sure that you're the best man that you can be, do you really deserve what you expect? Do you deserve what you require? And if you're a woman out here, you got to ask yourself sometime after this live, whenever, when you have some downtime, when you eating your lemon pepper wings, all flats with the ranch, ask yourself, do I deserve what I expect? I want a guy to do all these things. I want him to be a man. I want him to be strong. I want him to make money. I want him to take me on trips, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And I want him to look like this and feel like this and talk like this and act like this. Do you deserve what you require? Do you even know what that looks like? If you don't, you got to do some work. You got to do some work on yourself. You know what I mean? You can't put all the emphasis on that. You gotta do some soul work. You gotta do your own work, man. Because it's not about what I want. At the end of the day, I can want It doesn't matter what I want. I could want everything. I could want anything. Only thing that matters at the end of this day is what somebody's willing to give me. I could want respect. I could want cooperation. I could want some top every night. I could want, a home cooked meal every night. You know what I mean? I could want to hop in the shower with her and have her wash my back every night. Don't really matter what I want. Only thing that matters is what she's willing to give me. And she has to find it in herself somewhere to say, hey, based off of who he is, based off of how he's moving, you know what I mean? I can give him this. I can give him this confidently and not feel like, you know what I mean, I'm getting the short end of the stick. Straight up. Everything else we get in life, we earn it. You earn a degree. You earn a job. You got to go on that job. You got to go on that job interview. And you got to show them your resume. That resume has your college experience, has your work experience on it. And on top of that, whatever other things you got popping. You got to go up in there and show them that you deserve the job that you're trying to get. As is life. You have a resume, fellas. You have a resume. You're applying for something when you deal with a young lady. You're applying for something. You have a resume. You're your resume, your character, your word, your ability to make and maintain and grow your wealth and your resources. That's all your resume. And you got to show her that, hey, look, based off of what I've done and what I'm doing, this is why I deserve what I want. And this is why I'm not going to settle for less than that. I'm not going to settle for less than that. So if you offer me anything less than that, I'm not going to take it because I'm worth more than that. It is what it is, man. But I'm telling you, man, just know what you want. Know what you want. Know the pros and cons of it and figure out, are you willing to deal with it? Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till you knee deep in a relationship. Y'all done got feelings. Y'all done made a kid or 2 or 8. And now all of a sudden y'all want to figure it out. Like, nah, man, figure it out now. Save yourself some headache. Save yourself some potential child support money. Save yourself. Figure it out exactly what you want. And then that'll help you figure out who you need to be with. And it'll work just like that. Just like that. Understand that if you're dealing with a guy who's doing this thing, you got to have the right temperament. You got to leave that man be. You got to understand that, he's coming and going. You got to understand that he's dealing with he could potentially be dealing with a lot of stress. You know what I mean? Out there getting that bag. So you gotta make sure that you have the right temperament to complement that. You know what I mean? Fellas, if you want to go 50-50, you got to make sure you have the right temperament to complement that. You can't walk up in a 50-50 situation with your chest puffed out, like you the HNIC or something. You can't do it. Y'all doing everything down the middle. That's a partnership. You know what I mean? Y'all Ashford and Simpson. You know what I mean? That ain't Ike and Tina. That's Ashford and Simpson. Y'all a team. So the whole masculine, feminine role, the whole, headship, acquiesce and all of that, that's really not necessarily the case in the 50-50. Or I'm not going to say it's not the case, but it's not something that you should expect. If she's willing to give you that steal, that's one thing. But that ain't something you should really expect. You know what I mean? If y'all splitting everything down the middle and all of that. You know what I mean? Y'all splitting dinners and, You bought one drink and she bought the next drink and all that. You doing like that. That's not to be expected for you to walk around, with your chest puffed out, like you the head of that crib. You know what I mean? Temperament, man. Temperament. And I'm telling you, it's not just the money, it's not just the physical aspect of it. A lot of it is temperament. I'll probably do something bigger on that later on. But it's the temperament. Do you know how to talk? Do you know how to speak to that person? To their soul, to their core? Do you know how to motivate them? Do you know how to encourage them? Do you know how to support them? You got to have the right temperament too. So, and on that note, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna say peace, man. I'm not gonna hold y'all that much longer. I want to thank y'all for coming through, man. As always, we had good numbers tonight. I'm very appreciative of y'all, man. Y'all hold me down all the time, the man cave. And I really appreciate it. I do. You know what I mean? And I never get to a point, I never get too high, where I don't appreciate that. I just can't, like, that's not me. That's not my temperament. You know what I mean? It's not. But make sure, I'm telling you, you can have all the expectations and requirements you want. You can have all that. Make sure you line up with it. Make sure you're the type of person that when you say I deserve this or I want this, you can say it with confidence and really, really mean it, and not be lying out here, not be lying to yourself, and not be lying to the other people out here. Just make sure you're not doing that. So I got my show next week mapped out. We're gonna do a show on I'm gonna do a financial series. I'm gonna start a financial series next week. I got a dope sister coming on that I met in ClubHouse. You know what I mean, in Instagram. So I reached out to her. She's a financial strategist. All of that good stuff. She's good with the money. I want to do a show about us as Black people learning how to build wealth, how to invest. There are a lot of things that we don't know, that we don't understand. And it's a lot of people out here who are making a killing. A lot of people out here are making a killing. I see you, the money woman. Thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat. And so there are a lot of people out here that aren't Black that are making a killing because they understand money. They understand how to grow money, how to flip it, how to make their money work for them. So I want to do a show on that, just to kind of switch it up a little bit. I said this show is about everything related to masculinity and manhood and all of that, and just being grown and mature. And a lot of that has to do with making sure your resources are right. So I'm gonna do a show next week, about financial literacy. I want brothers and sisters to understand stocks. I want y'all to understand, how to get your portfolio up, stocks, mutual funds, IRAs, Roth IRAs. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about 529 college plans for the kids. We're gonna talk about trust funds. We're gonna talk about all that stuff, next week. With the sister that I got coming on. She's dope. I'm just gonna ask her some questions. I'm gonna let her rock off. It's gonna be her show next week. She's gonna have the floor. I just want her to teach. You know what I mean? Because I think that's very important. Once we do that soul work on our inner self, manifest that on the physical, we got to get our paper up to complement that. You know what I mean? We do. We get our mind right, get our money right, then we'll be in good shape. So we're gonna rock out with that next week. So please make sure, if you can, if you feel led to like, comment, subscribe, and share content. If you want to reach out to me via email, you can do so. My email is frankjrivers@gmail.com. If you have any questions, any comments, I do consultations as well. So, if you want to talk about something, just on a more personal side, like a one-on-one, I can do that. I'll allot some time for you, 30-minute slot, 1 hour slot, whatever you need, I got you. And we'll rock out with that. So if you need that, you email me. Everything will be confidential, of course. Nobody will know what's going on with you. That's our business. And after we talk about it and move on from it, that's your business. I'm not even gonna hold on to it like that. So, but if you need that, if you want that, you can reach out to me like that, and we'll get that scheduled for you. Also, if you want to support the channel financially, a few of the family did that tonight via via the super chat because I am monetized now. So, if you want to do it through the super chat, you can hit the little $ button, rock out that way to support financially, or you could do it via Cash App or PayPal. So I'm on Cash App, $ View from the Man Cave. I'm on PayPal as well, paypal.me / View from the Man Cave. So yeah, man, thank y'all, man. I appreciate that love. I'm definitely gonna get at you sometime this week about figuring out how to get the ball rolling on my book, because it's coming. I've been thinking about it for a long time, even before I became a content creator. I've been thinking about being published so that I can have something that the people can add on from and build from, way after I'm gone, way after I'm dead and gone, man. Something for my grandkids to show their grandkids. You know what I mean? This is what your great granddaddy wrote. It's dope. So I'm definitely gonna get at you about that. But y'all be safe, man. I love y'all. Until next week. Y'all be good. One.
The powers of alchemy. powers of alchemy